All right, y'all, let's get right into it. Got all the top crypto news stories of the day, but as always, let's start by looking at these crazy crypto markets, guys. It's been a wild week. It's been an absolute wild week, guys. Ethereum up 10% on the week, Bitcoin up 7%. I know what you're thinking, like, why are these markets pumping like this? Honestly, guys, I have no idea. The Ethereum pump, we did expect, and we did talk about that a lot on this channel. As y'all know, Ethereum, the merge is like 3 days away. Ethereum going from proof of work to proof of stake, one of the biggest events in crypto, is right on our doorstep. And we kind of talked about that on this channel, that we expected this pump going into the merge. Now, what happens after the merge? Your guess is as good as mine, guys. There's some people saying it's a buy the rumor, sell the news situation where we're going to see a constant pump into the merge with a plummet. We have some are saying because Ethereum switching to proof of stake, there's a lot of nuances involved, that the issuance of Ethereum tokens in the deflationary supply, because they're going to burn off a lot of the old tokens. So this could create a situation that sends Ethereum skyrocketing. But what we have to ask ourselves is, what need is there for Ethereum right now? Are whales buying NFTs, or projects being built, or anything being really built on Ethereum right now? Obviously there is, but we are in the midst of this crazy bear market, and we are in the midst of some crazy geopolitical times. So let's go ahead and get into the news, guys. I got all the top crypto news stories of the week. As always, guys, this is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. I live in my mom's garage. But so check this out, guys, from Bitcoin Magazine. Russia to legalize the use of cryptocurrency in international trade report. The Bank of Russia and Ministry of Finance have reportedly agreed to move forward toward approving the use of cryptocurrency payments in international trade. Russia is close to pushing legislation for the use of crypto in international trade. In current conditions, it is impossible to do without cross-border settlements in cryptocurrency. The Bank of Russia and Ministry of Finance reportedly agreed. The necessary regulatory framework will still need to be introduced. So, all right, guys, as you know, unless you've been living under a rock, you know about the whole situation with the United States, with Putin, with Ukraine, with the conflict in Russia. As the Russia-Ukraine conflict intensifies, the United States and other nations, other NATO-backed nations, are introducing sanctions onto Putin and Russia. Now, instead of caving to the sanctions, Putin and the Russians, their economy's actually been doing even better. And if you're wondering why it's been doing even better, well, because they are an energy leader. Russia has a ton of oil and gas, and there are other countries, China, that aren't imposing these sanctions because they get their oil and gas from Russia. And what we're walking into is a very, 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 very dark time, because the nations that are aligned with NATO, the European nations, they rely on Russia for their oil and gas. If they're unable to get energy prices are skyrocketing. Commodities prices are skyrocketing in nations that, originally traded with Russia, while we're seeing the Russian ruble skyrocket in value. We're seeing commodities drop in Russia. So what I'm saying is, guys, the sanctions are not working. And now what we're seeing is something that we probably didn't expect to happen like this way, that Russia, to get around these economic sanctions, because basically the United States and the central banking system has removed Russia from the SWIFT banking network. So now, basically trying to, hey, if you're not gonna get in line with the United States' agenda, then we're gonna impose the sanctions on you. Well, the sanctions aren't working, so Russia's finding workarounds, and it just so happens to be that crypto is the perfect workaround, because they could always, trade for commodities, or, take Bitcoin as payment for oil. And so we are in some unprecedented times, guys, because, if we're not settling in the U.S. dollar, unfortunately, the dollar's world reserve currency is kind of at risk of losing it, guys. And it's terrifying to see, as an American, and as somebody, who lives here, and obviously, if you're watching this video, you probably live in America, and most of your net worth is in the U.S. dollar. And due to inflation, and due to, these endless wars, Unfortunately, crypto is kind of going to be our safe haven. Crypto is going to be something that we're going to have to hedge against the US dollar because, and as always, guys, I'm anti-war. I want this conflict in Ukraine and Russia. I want world peace. But unfortunately, guys, this central banking cartel, they're just not going to stop. They're not going to stop, and they want full control over the dollar. They want full control over all these countries, and if you don't abide, well, they'll sanction you to death or they'll go to war with you. It's really terrible to see, guys. I hate seeing what's going on right now. All right, another big story, guys. Check this out. Michael Saylor, who's been in a little trouble recently. Michael Saylor's been in a little trouble recently, but Microstrategy files to sell up to $500 million of stock to fund Bitcoin purchases. The deal is assigned to Executive Chairman Michael Saylor isn't back off of his audacious plans to turn a software developer into a Bitcoin proxy. So that's right, guys. So MicroStrategy is the company Michael Saylor owns, and he's known as being one of the number one Bitcoin maxis. And now he is doubling down. He's doubling down. He's selling stock, buying Bitcoin, and I'm an investor in MicroStrategy stock, as always. Not financial advice, guys, but what I think a lot of investors are doing that either don't know how to buy Bitcoin or don't feel safe buying Bitcoin, they feel safe buying a stock on the New York Stock Exchange from a publicly traded company. So, what Michael's strategy is to essentially buy as much Bitcoin and basically be a proxy for investors that want exposure to Bitcoin and crypto to buy MicroStrategy stock, and that be their exposure to it. Now, will this plan work? I think it is going to work, guys. I think Michael's a brilliant guy, and I think that ask yourself this, guys. MicroStrategy, publicly traded company. Ask yourself this: in the next 5 years, do you see more or less companies adding Bitcoin to their balance sheets and following the MicroStrategy's lead? It's worked out for them so far, guys. I think more companies are going to do it. Especially. Think about it, guys. Think about it. Take a company like Apple. Don't quote me, but Apple has like billions or maybe even trillions of cash, just cold hard cash sitting around, right? Because there's only so many places cash can flow into. Apple has so much cash, it's almost like they don't know what to do with it. So what you have to ask yourself is, companies that are cash rich, we're seeing inflation. Your own federal government told you, 8%, almost 8%, 9%. Really, it's higher than that. So companies are going to want to look for assets as a hedge against inflation. So I'm not saying that Apple's going to go buy all the Bitcoin or buy, $1 billion worth of Bitcoin, but it wouldn't shock me to see them have some type of exposure. And, not just Apple, but other publicly traded companies, other hedge funds, other rich people. And we're slowly seeing this adoption, guys. So let's go ahead. Let's check out the next story. Again, this is another article from Bloomberg. MicroStrategy says it is to buy more Bitcoin in stock sale filing. Some Cardano news, guys. So I know a lot of you are Cardano holders that watch this channel. As you know, guys, I took all my Cardano and I bought a bunch of Cardano NFTs. Cardano ADA developer IOG partners with Stanford University to launch a blockchain research hub. Yeah, I bet you didn't hear about this story, guys. So Stanford working with Cardano. Huge news. Check out this article. It's from Decrypt. Ethereum successfully develops final network test before the merge. And guys, it's looking like the event's going to happen sometime between September 13th and 15th. Again, guys, this has never happened before. The magnitude of the Ethereum merge, the E2.0 merge, it has investors worried. Now, most investors that I've talked to are very confident the merge is going to go smooth, and it's actually going to be a good move for Ethereum. I've read a lot of stuff that while the merge may not lower the Ethereum gas fees, what they're saying is the merge is going to make it much more energy efficient, make Ethereum much more energy efficient, as well as becoming deflationary, which is phenomenal for investors. As you guys know, I hold a bunch of Ethereum, and I also hold a bunch of Ethereum NFTs. So in theory, if Ethereum continues to appreciate, if you got blue chip NFTs, you're probably going to be rich. And I'm serious, guys. Bored Ape Yacht Club, that's just the beginning. We're at the infancy of this stuff. And again, guys, not financial advice. NFTs are super speculative. But if you pick the right ones, Like you really will see 100x's, especially metaverses. You could see some 100x gains. It is phenomenal to see. All right, guys, next story. This is a Barron's article. And again, guys, I'd like to also show y'all the good and the bad of what's going on right now. And this really stuck out to me. White House is mulling a ban on Bitcoin mining. Check out this article from Crypto Potato. White House report recommends banning Bitcoin mining to slash GHG emissions. So the White House recommends eliminating the use of energy-intensive consensus methods if other measures fail to reduce crypto carbon emissions. Now, I'm going to give y'all my thoughts on this. Again, guys, I'm a proponent for the environment. I want to do anything, for whether it be crypto mining, vehicles, emissions in total. We have to do our part to make the world a greener place. But I think that initiatives like this and groups that back initiatives like this are very dishonest. And what I mean by that is, most, Bitcoin is going to revolutionize green energy mining. Most Bitcoin is mined with 100% renewable or green energy. Because think about it, guys. If you're a Bitcoin mining operation, don't you want cheap and or free energy? Why would you want to pollute? Why would you want to use a ton of unnecessary electricity when it would just lower your revenue? It's going to lower the income you create. So what we're seeing is, and again, guys, these people, these advocacy groups, blaming carbon emissions. What I ask them is, well, what do you think emits more carbon, guys? Do you think the military-industrial complex emits more carbon than Bitcoin? Why are we never going after the military-industrial complex? That's a much bigger polluter, a much bigger carbon polluter. Why are we not going after the World Economic Forum? These guys are flying around in 747 jets, having conferences. Y'all could have had those conferences on Zoom, right? So when we talk about carbon emissions, and again, guys, I got a question for you. Do you know who the largest emitter of carbon and pollution is? China. So we never see any of these advocacy groups. We never see any of these initiatives going at the people who are polluting the most. So these groups, in the White House especially, in the whole ESG narrative, if they truly cared about the environment, you'd go after the biggest polluters. You wouldn't be going after cows. You wouldn't be going after, people driving gas-powered cars. I mean, it really is ridiculous, guys, and it's really just dishonest. It's really just dishonest, and I don't know fully what their initiative is and why they have such a, it's almost as if, to me, the central banking system and the powers that be, they hate Bitcoin. They hate crypto. They don't want you to have these assets, so they will come up with anything to get you out of it. And what better crutch, what better shield to use as the environment? Because then they can justify shutting everything down. Again, guys, they can't shut down Bitcoin though, because even if our federal government says, you know what, we are going to ban Bitcoin, we're going to ban proof of work mining. We're going to ban proof of work mining 100%. Let me ask you something. What has the United States government banned, whether it be the war on drugs, anything like that? What have they banned that the ban actually worked? So you could ban it. All it's going to do is hurt the citizens of the United States. It's going to hurt the United States' economic power, and it's going to empower other nations because other nations won't ban the proof of work mining. They will continue to mine Bitcoin, and those nations will be economic superpowers. It's really quite simple, guys. It's really quite simple. We'll continue to cover this, guys, and I'm actually going to bring on some guests that know a little bit more about the subject. I think you'll really like those interviews. Crypto mining uses as much energy as all computers in the U.S. White House says. Wait till I tell them how much the central banking system and the Federal Reserve. Wait till I tell them about the current banking system. Wait till I tell them how much electricity and carbon emissions come from Las Vegas. Is gambling essential? Do we really need that? So this is really a dishonest narrative, guys, and I'm going to continue to go against this, and it's just crazy. It's a crazy time we live in. Billionaire Mark Cuban is no longer excited about crypto. The successful entrepreneur has invested in countries to invest in crypto projects, but he's unpleased about a particular development. Guys, I have no idea what this story is. I didn't even review it before I made this episode. Oh, man. Mark Cuban. Let's just go to the next story. Who cares? Who cares what Mark Cuban says? This is a cool story, guys. UK economist secretary commits to make country a crypto hub under new prime minister. We want to become the country of choice for those looking to create, innovate, and build in the crypto space, says MP Richard Fuller. We want to become the country of choice for those looking to create, innovate, and build in the crypto space. By making this country a hospital place for crypto technologies, we can attract investments, generate new jobs, benefit from tax revenue, create a wave of groundbreaking new products and services, and bridge the current position of UK financial services into the new era. As you guys can see, it doesn't matter what our government does or the Chinese do. Other countries will adopt this technology because they see the value. And again, not all people are evil that are against crypto. Some of them are just naive. Some of them are just uneducated. And it's just going to take time, guys. You know, if you think about it, it wasn't that long ago, your local government didn't even have a website. You know, I remember a time in my lifetime when the place that I live in St. Bernard Parish, they didn't have a website. I remember that time. You know, there was a time when, the city of New Orleans didn't have a website, when maybe even the state of Louisiana didn't have a website. So this is just how early we are at the infancy in this technology. And it's definitely, watching it evolve has been really humbling for me, because maybe the growth has been a little bit slower. The adoption has been a little bit slower, but you see it happening, guys. I mean, check out this. Black Station, Puma reveals first ever metaverse experience with exclusive NFTs at New York Fashion Week. So yes, another big brand embracing crypto and NFTs, Puma. Guys, we've seen, Adidas and Nike have massive success with NFT projects, make massive revenue. So again, as I asked you guys, you see Nike do it. You see Adidas do it, make all kind of money. Now you see Puma doing it. Do you see more or less big brands embracing NFTs and pushing the envelope of what can be done in terms of utility? All of this, whenever you see NFT or big brands, it's going to take a lot of crypto. There's going to be a lot of crypto transacted in these deals. So definitely something to watch, guys. We'll definitely, and I love Puma. All right, guys. Crazy story here. Terra Luna token gains 200% in a few hours amid speculative frenzy. All right, guys. So I had like $1,000 in Terra Luna, guys. I talked about it briefly on this channel. I know a lot of you were huge into Terra Luna. I'm not really going to speculate on what happened to Terra Luna. Frankly, I think that the official story isn't actually what happened to Terra Luna. I think there was a bit of sketchy and shady stuff that happened with that whole situation. I feel for the investors of Terra Luna that lost money. Me personally, guys, I think when it bottomed out, I put like $300 in it. So I haven't even looked at that portfolio in a while, so I'm sure I'm way up. So again, guys, I wouldn't tell you to buy Terra Luna right now. I wouldn't, if you got money to gamble, throw a couple $100 in it as a gamble. Why not? But at this point, guys, I feel like if I was investing, there's so many other cryptos I'd invest in. Anything with Terra Luna right now, I think is an absolute gamble. But hey, you do the opposite of what, sometimes you do the opposite of what you think, and you look at how much it's appreciated. Who knows? Crazy. These crypto markets are crazy. And last story, guys, again, super, super big story that just kind of fell under the radar. Fidelity to launch Bitcoin retail trading in November. Fidelity has offered institutional clients Bitcoin services since 2018, but the investment manager is now bringing retail on board. The adoption accelerates. Our continued research drives our belief that Bitcoin is more than an asset. It represents the foundation of our business and a new financial system. That is Fidelity telling you. And what they're telling you is they allowed their institutional clients, they allowed the big money to front run the retail. But now they're saying, okay, you plebs, Now you can buy some Bitcoin. How nice of Fidelity. Again, guys, we've talked about all of this on this channel, so this is no surprise to us that Fidelity, one of the largest banking institutions and stock exchanges in the world, is going to allow people to buy Bitcoin through their platform. You shouldn't be shocked, guys. You shouldn't be shocked. This is it. This is the new financial system. This is, what is deemed by the World Economic Forum as the fourth industrial revolution. The digital age we are moving into. These assets are here to stay, guys, and we will continue to cover it. Anyway, y'all, I'm Classic Kev. Thank you so much for watching. If you made this far in the video, drop me a 100 emoji in the comments. Anyway, y'all, I'm out. Peace.